stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
From America's Dairyland, the Davis Brothers Roofing SNN Cup Series is ready to shift from our traditional ovals to a road course tonight. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sim Racing Media and the Esports Broadcasting Network. Alex Murray and RJ Root lead the SNN Cup Series into the heart of Sheboygan County, Wisconsin, as there are some new drivers tonight ready to tame these 14 terms. I'm Dave Regal, alongside my partners in crime, Joseph Lester and Tony Trapasso, and we will be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, on Sim Racing Media and the Esports Broadcasting Network. And Joseph, it is a pleasure to be able to work with you tonight, and I did see Tony Trapasso drop into our broadcast booth, so of course, buddy, glad to have you with us, as we're kind of, maybe, I guess you could say we're kind of patchwork quilting tonight, but you know, Joseph, what are you looking for in these drivers as we transition from ovals to road courses?
Well, I'm looking for a lot of slipping and sliding, but with this new update to the next-gen cars that came out around Sonoma Week 3 weeks ago, I believe, there is some extra grip, and these guys are going to be able to push it just a little bit farther into the corners. The top 5 in practice was all within a second, so it should be a great race all the way through.
You're right. They did change the setups on these cars quite a bit in the last update that was released by iRacing. But the biggest thing to be mindful of is they lowered the ride height and extended the bump stop puck. So these cars more than any time prior to this, have been bottoming out just about everywhere we've gone with them since that latest update's come out. And with the elevation changes that take place here, especially going up the hill after or into Corvette Corner, that's something these guys are going to have to be real mindful of. Plus the G loading that you're going to get coming through the kink just after the carousel. Some of these guys can get caught out very easily, and it'll just snap around on you without warning.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they are a handful, and these cars do snap quite easily, but they're also really fun to drive, and we're in for a great show in here tonight.
And Dave, looks like we got qualifying underway right now. Everybody starting their flying lap so far.
Yeah, right now just kind of waiting for everybody to get out on track and get those first laps in here, Tony. As right now I'm taking a look at Joe Stafford in the number 57 Propel Motorsports Chevrolet as he is coming through the back of the track now. And, Joe Stafford, the pride of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, always out here to represent well for the Keystone State as he is coming through the final turn, getting ready to move back toward the flag stand. These drivers, all said and, when it's all said and done tonight, will be out of breath after these 31 laps. But, I gotta figure that, the work that they've put into these cars is going to pay off at the end.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that lap that we just saw Joe Stafford run did not count as he dropped the tire off in Canada Corner from SDK timing. It should have been around the 2:12 or 2:11 though.
Now your current pole sitter, Chad Sanner, with a 2:14.62. But Raymond Root is on a ripper right now as he's gone purple in sectors 2, 3, and 4. In sector 5 for Root, again into the purple, 2.1025.
Yeah, that was 4 tenths off his practice lap. So we did see a little bit of fall off from practice to qualifying, but that was expected as there was a 5-degree increase in track temperature.
Now, Joseph, you've raced with RJ several times over the last few years. I mean, what are you expecting to see out of a driver like RJ as he's, still getting wound up on this next lap?
I mean, he's a very smooth driver, but he's very aggressive at the same time. He's always looking to get an advantage. Say on a restart, if he's restarting fourth, you could blink and he's already in the lead. So he's very aggressive on the start, which you only get one of those. But I mean, he's really good at road courses, and we saw an amazing battle at Coda between he and Alex Murray, which led to contact in the final corner, and Alex Murray pulled it off there.
Well, it seems like it's going to be the same story here at Road America, as Root currently sitting atop the pile in qualifying with a 2.10, a 2-minute 10-second .25. Alex Murray right on his heels with a 2:10.93. As Murray goes purple in the first sector, Root currently purple in sector 2. Looks like Murray negated the lap after going off track in sector 2. Root purple in the third sector, purple in the fourth sector. Let's see what this fifth sector looks like as he comes into the final corner and up the hill. Keeps it nice and tidy. A little bit of tail wag. Up the hill for Root. Cross the line.
He improved by 1/10 to a 2:10.
Wow.
Gloucester, Virginia is absolutely proud of RJ tonight.
I think he was on a 2:09 if he didn't have that little bit of wheel spin out of the final corner.
I think you're right on that one.
Well, right now, Alex
coming
Murray
through the
out
final
here.
corner. He ran a little wide through that corner, and we saw the same thing with his teammate. Gets a little loose there.
Murray's lap was negated and back in sector 2. So this lap will not count for him.
He
It
actually
was slower
improved a bit.
anyways. Oh, there it is. Yep. As we've only got about a minute left, so the only one that can still lay down a time, Noel Hodgson up and over the hill for the final time in the 54. He's going to improve his time, but he's not going to change position. With a 2:13, he's not going to improve his time, actually, which leaves Josh Ward in the 1 is the last car that's going to post a time here in qualifying, as nobody else out on track.
Well, you said he's going to post a time. There is still quite a ways to go on this lap. I don't think he'll be able to finish his lap before qualifying ends. There's 30 seconds left, and there's well over a minute left in the track, as he's only going through turn 5 right now.
As he comes up the hill leading to Corvette Corner. Unfortunately, you're right. He went wide there, so that negated the lap in Sector 2. So Ward's time not going to count. There's only 10 seconds left on the timer, and he's got a little more. Now, sometimes they are gracious with the timer here in qualifying. If you're already on a lap, they let you complete it, and not going to happen.
No, sir.
Well, we're
There's only 11 cars laying time in qualifying, and 8 seconds is the gap from the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah, and here in the SNN Cup Series, I mean, just like every league that we've probably watched over the last week running the road course, things get a little hairy here as far as, guys getting readjusted, breaking points. I mean, you can practice this track all week and still get here to Sunday night here in prime time and, still not be able to get it all together right.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's shown time and time again. We've seen multiple drivers just have bad luck throughout the season. Austin Story, for example, he didn't finish a race until Coda, and he's now sitting 12th in points, and he won our All-Star race and has been battling each week for wins, and he has a chance here this week as well.
Right, no. The field is starting to grid up. What do you say we go through the starting order, my friends?
Absolutely a great idea. Right now, sitting on P1 here tonight is Mr. RJ Root. Also, your, actually, he's sitting currently second in your point standings, followed by Alex Murray on the outside or the right side of row 1. Row 2 is going to be Joe Stafford, the pride of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with Austin Story on his inside from Valdosta, Georgia. Seba Cornez and Nolan Hodgson make up row 3. Row 4, Randy Spivey and Chad Sanner. Row 5, rounding out the top 10, Josh Ward and Tom McGee. Tony?
Chris Claude and Glenn Ballard going to make up row number 6, with row 7 going to Jeremy Miller and Ken Ron. John Bawalda and Charles Eaton rolling off in row number 8, with row 9 going to R.P. Allen and Zendala Collins. Brian Tarnowski and Wyatt Fink going to be starting shotgun on the field, as Ballard and Ron both electing to pit start here tonight.
Yeah, these drivers here tonight are definitely going to be taking their time tonight, as nobody wants to get antsy, especially, we all know that old adage, you can't win it on lap 1, can you, Joseph?
No, you can't, and that's cost some drivers throughout the history of SNN. I go back to Coda last year. RJ Root sat on pole. He spun into turn 1. That led to Austin Story winning the race because there's no cautions here. So that cost him that race, most likely. And anything can happen.
31 laps, the scheduled distance here tonight, so you're right, a lot can happen on this 4-mile, 14-turn road course. 75% fuel fill, 3 sets of tires to get it done, so they're starting on a set and they're laying 2 in the pits. So that should work out just nicely, as pit window should be around 10 to 12 laps.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and it ranges anywhere from, like you said, 12 to even 16 laps on fuel. So we could be looking at some guys trying to save fuel and make it a one-stop strategy, and some guys looking for the two-stop, which will be the most likely strategy out of everybody.
Well, and one of the things that we see, week in and week out, Joseph, and you can attest to this, a lot of these drivers, I'm assuming it's harder to save tires on a road course, but a lot of these drivers go into tire conservation mode and wind up using as much fuel as they possibly can out of that fuel cell.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I've run some laps here. I actually had a league race on Thursday that was running at 75% fuel, and we did it without taking tires the whole race, which was pretty incredible, and we only lost maybe 0.2 off our lap times.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, usually I start to have my tires fall off about 8 laps in. That's the end. There's a reason that I'm much less in the front.
And it's the field working its way through the kink and down into Canada corner. Raymond Root gonna have the trigger, and from what I'm seeing, restart zone rule not in effect tonight.
Well, I think the only reason it's not in effect tonight is because it's not a thing here at Road America. It is in real life, but iRacing doesn't have it quite yet on all the road courses. But come in next week at Atlanta, the new update. Last time we were there, we had the old 2008 version. We got the 2022 Super Speedway version next week here, and I'm looking forward to it.
What is going on with the 57?
Joe Stafford got sideways coming out of the penultimate corner and got into the 23 of Austin Story. As the field works its way out of the final corner, pace car gets ready to make that hard right turn onto pit road. There it goes. The only thing that's left to say is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some popcorn and some cheese curd, because it's time to get it on in the great state of Wisconsin. Race fans, it's show time!
Off and away they go into turn 1 for 31 laps and 434 corners. And Austin Story sends it in deep, and he'll be on the outside of Joe Stafford here, heading into turn 2. Down this long straightaway, heading into turn 3 now. They'll still be side by side, and a little bit of contact out of turn 3.
And we got one around. That is the one of Josh Ward going for a ride coming out of 3 under the Sargento Bridge. Root shows the way. Murray, Stafford, Story, and Hodgson, your top 5, as they get into the heavy braking zone just before they go up the hill and under the Corvette Bridge.
Yeah, definitely ill-advised for when Josh Ward went to come back out on track. He definitely didn't check the intersection. We've got another one. Wyatt Fink here in the sand trap, trying to get himself. Oh no, he seems to be doing nothing but spinning it. I think that front right wheel, as we can see right there, guys, is not
attached.
That is cambered all the way out, my friends.
Yeah, that is not attached right now. So he immediately calls for the wrecker, as they're starting to get a little single-filed out, but Steve Cornez trying to make something happen on Nolan Hodgson right now, as your battle for 5th, hot and heavy between the 14 and the 54.
Yeah, the 14 won the first ever S&N road course race. It was actually at the Charlotte Roval. He won by 50 seconds and put on a clinic. He is closing in on Nolan Hodgson now, and heading into that left-hand corner, going under the Rev Bridge. He's right all over Nolan Comfort.
And folks, if you are just tuning in, welcome to the Esports Broadcasting Network. I'm Dave Riegel, alongside my partners in crime, Tony Trapasso And Mr. Joseph Lester here at Road America, just outside of just in the center of Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Tony, do you know what's really big in Sheboygan?
Miller beer.
Yes, that too. But how about Gus Polinski, the Polka King of the Midwest?
There you go.
And you thought I was going to miss that time.
I absolutely miss John Candy.
They sold 663 copies of that.
600 of what?
Of Polka from Gus Polinski.
Yeah.
Polka King of the Midwest.
Go. There you go.
Very big in Sheboygan.
Want to thank Haley and Kaylin for joining in with us. They're both cheering for Alex Murray tonight. And if you haven't done so already, folks, hit the subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on the Esports Broadcasting Network as the season's starting to ramp back up this week. Tomorrow night will be the season premiere of the CleanRacing.net Truck Series as they go just up the road a bit from here to their season opener at Chicagoland. And Josh Lilly, your defending series champion, coming into tomorrow night, looking to make a statement early.
Absolutely. A lot of leagues coming back from their spring-summer hiatuses, especially Tuesday night. Of course, you and I always look forward to it. We will no longer be there this season. However, the Western States Racing League coming back for season number 47, Tuesday night at 10:15 Eastern here on ESBN on YouTube.com.
They will have their season opener at Kentucky. That's a 10:05 Eastern time start on that one. And then, Dave, I know you had a blast last week with the Thunderclap Stock Car iRacing Series. This week, they're going to get down and dirty at Bristol as they put the trucks on the dirt track.
That is going to be exciting this week. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Of course, unfortunately, while that's unfolding over there, I will be over with the Way She Goes Racing League on Wednesday night. And this week, a little bit different. They were not broadcasted last week, but this week they will be at Daytona Road Course. So it looks like I'll have 2 road courses this week on the docket.
There you go.
While you all were previewing this upcoming week, Joe Stafford had a lockup through Canada Corner, then again in the final corner, which led to Austin Story getting by him, and now Austin Story's closing in on our front 2 guys, RJ Root and Alex Murray.
Taking a look back at Austin Story getting around Joe Stafford. I mean, just, here's the thing, and I saw it earlier today in the F1 series. Of course, Max Verstappen was trying to get himself out there to the lead. Eventually, he wound up finishing like somewhere around 7th. But, sometimes the name of the game here on a road course is follow whoever's in front of you, wait for them to make a mistake, because all it takes is one flick of your throttle, and next thing you know, you've got a lead over someone else.
Absolutely. As Root and Murray take it through the carousel and head under the Henry Bridge, going into the Kank, full head of steam. 125 miles an hour as they haul it through the Kank. Root continues to show the way. Murray, Story, Stafford, and Cornez rounding out your top 5 right now. Pretty single-filed out. Your closest battle is going to be back around 10th with John Buwalda and Jeremy Miller as Miller goes off the track. Coming through the carousel, overcooked it. It was the 30. That's going to give Buwalda a little bit of breathing room, but here comes Murray back through the Kank.
And we're taking a look right now at the 30 and the 51. We'll take a run back up here to Murray. My goodness, my hands can't be that much faster here on all the 1s and 2s tonight, fellas.
Miller wrestles the spot away from Buwalda into the top 10. Now, I didn't hear what the stage break is tonight.
Oh, sideways!
Yeepers, tell me Miller is not trying to get everything out of that racing rehab 30. As here comes Buwalda to his inside coming up the hill. Buwalda going to get relegated back to 11th. He's got to be careful because RP Allen with a good head of steam right now could try to make the dive bomb going into 1. Here comes Buwalda to the inside.
Listen, if I had to put money on it right now, I would absolutely bet that eventually RP Allen's going to work the outside of the wall. And there he goes, working.
You mean like you just did?
Well then, RP Allen, definitely one of the more aggressive racers. Definitely one of the more aggressive racers as, you know, here in this league. These guys don't let up early. They aren't even thinking about it most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all go, go, go right now. As we got a battle heating up behind them between Glenn Ballard and Zandila Collins. Oi! Ballard gets it all wrong coming downhill.
And RP Allen just slid through the corner. He was drifting like, as you call him, the pride of Philadelphia, Joe Stafford does on the regular basis.
He
I
definitely
wonder
does.
how you know that they live in Tokyo.
Oh, look at you tonight.
I went there.
Listen, you might as well get there early because we're only on lap number 4 of 31. We've got a long way to go yet, gentlemen. And with that in mind, we are going to go side by side and pay some bills from our good friends over at Davis Brothers Roofing.
Davis Brothers has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes to installing new roofs on large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Your home is an important part of your life, and your roof is an essential part of your home. We understand that. Whether you're inspecting, repairing, or replacing your roof, we'll treat your home like it's our very own. Low slope, steep slope, big or small, it doesn't matter, we do them all. And remember, we have the capabilities and the manpower to take on any size job. When it comes to your roof, it's important to be proactive. Choose an experienced roofer you can trust. At Davis Brothers Roofing, we are your experienced roofer. Contact us today for a consultation and let us earn your trust.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing it's left to say is wipe the visors, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the wrecking!
Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Road America here in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Right now, Raymond Root in the number 8 car, leading the way with Alex Murray hot on his trail, but just 2.62 seconds left. Tony and Joseph, what a race we have so far tonight.
Absolutely. As you know, we're seeing some battling going on in the mid-pack right now as Story and Stafford kind of just biding their time. Here comes Stafford to the inside of Story, thinking about it, going into one, thinks better of it though, as that is one of your closest battles on track, your battle for third. Story has it, Stafford wants it.
Oh, and you saw a little bit of wheel hop by Joe Stafford, but he was able to get it woed down into turn 3. That was almost calamity. And Joe Stafford, he has the pull from Austin Story looking into turn 5. Austin Story going to run a defensive line. Joe will back out of it for now, but I would expect Joe to come right back at it in Corvette Corner.
And here they come through Corvette Corner as Stafford's still not trying to give up at this point. Coming into turn 7, looks like Austin's still going to have the edge as they roll out toward 8. Through
the double left-hander, they're going to be heading side by side. stem to stern, actually, as Story leads Stafford. Stafford kind of biding his time, not pushing the issue too much right now, as we're working only lap 6 of 31 here tonight from Road America, as formerly known as Elkhart Lake, as this track is in Elkhart Lake, but they decided to call it Road America. So those of you who are SCCA and IMSA fans from back in the 80s, you know this is Elkhart. Still a beautiful facility. Amazing racing every time the cars unload here in beautiful Sheboygan County, Wisconsin. And, you know, I know we're not in Canada, but do you know where you can get the best poutine on the planet?
Did you say poutine?
I did say poutine.
Where might I find the best?
At this track's concession stand.
I feel like, here's the thing, Joseph. If you're going to look for good food, you're going to follow Tony and I'm going to take his advice here.
All right.
Thanks for your input. I appreciate that. Tony, exactly which, like, is there something that you can put on poutine for that here?
No, well, it's better quality cheese curd. Some of the best cheese curd in the world can be found here in Sheboygan County.
See, I'm more of a fan of the curds and whey, if you will.
You just want to date Little Miss Muffet. Who are you trying to kid?
Saturn her tough and eating her curds and whey.
No.
What?
No.
What?
There's children present.
That's true, Joseph. We don't want to upset you. We know.
We don't want to corrupt him. His father will get mad at both of us.
That's true. I mean, and I don't need his dad being mad at us.
But anyways, again, some of the best poutine you're going to find anywhere on the planet here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And in case you're wondering what poutine is, it's home-cut French fries that still have a little bit of the skin at each end of it. Something similar to what you'd get at like Five Guys. It has beef gravy on it, the brown beef gravy, and cheese curd melted on top of it.
I'm an absolute fan. I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to deep fry anything, I'm going to try it at least once.
Fair enough.
Oh, looks like Alex Murray having a little bit of trouble back here. I'm going to run that back for us. Interesting. He just seemed to get tight coming in here on that second to last turn. Smoked the tires, got over a little far, but manages to bring everything back under control. And Raymond Root now with a 4.46 second lead over Alex Murray. And then 6.73 between Murray and Story. So right now your closest battle on the track is between Story and Stafford.
I think we just lost Joseph.
40 years in the desert, nobody asks directions, and Joseph gets lost. Got that, Joseph? All right, then. Appreciate you.
Excuse me while I dusk palm. There he is.
Well,
Hiya, fella.
I went to go check and see what everybody's fuel was looking like, and it looks like it's going to be a two-stop race. I have confirmed with 2 drivers.
Kind of what we were thinking there is Wyatt Fink has more issues. He has to tow immediately to the pits. Let me go
take a look
what
here
happened.
at Wyatt Fink coming down underneath the Arians billboard here. And he just overcooked that entire corner and oh! Listen.
Missed the tire barrier.
Yeah. I'm not an expert, but that Ford Mustang looks like it's seen a better day.
Yeah, the left front suspension arm is not attached anymore. And bam goes the Bam Barbecue Ford Mustang as he's got to tow it back to the pits.
Well, you gotta feel for him because he wrecked in turn 5 on the first lap, and then going through turn 3 there, as soon as he gets his repairs done, he has to tow once again.
Chris Claude coming back out on track in the Densani number 10 after spending 11 minutes on pit road trying to get repairs done. Ken Ron is now back out on track in the Isaacs 33. John Bawald is still on pit road trying to get that Chevy Camaro fixed. As we still have 16 cars on the lead lap. Excuse me. But Brian Tarnowski is in danger of going a lap down, as he is currently 21 seconds behind your leader with 2 minutes and 21 seconds behind the leader, and the lap delta is a 2:11.
Absolutely. And, just as a quick aside here, Brian Tarnowski driving the number 5, racing for Stacy Chevrolet Camaro. Of course, he also has Trisha's Hope here on the hood. Huge sponsor for cancer support here, as he had recently lost his wife, Stacy Tarnowski, to her battle with cancer. But, one of the cool things about SNN is that we have, 3 divisions of racing. We have Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks, of course. And the Xfinity commissioner, Bob Nestor, who is not racing tonight here in the Cup Series, had organized a pretty good fundraiser race that we held at Atlanta. And, I'm just glad to have Brian out here on the track. I know that Joseph can attest to this, that last year it's like Tarnowski and I were magnets for one another on the racetrack. It's like every time one of us was near the other, we were beating, banging, and bumping.
Brian, one of the nicest guys in any league that he shows up to. I've had the privilege of talking with Brian in quite a few leagues that we've broadcast here on Sim Racing Media and the Esports Broadcasting Network. And I have to admit, I was gutted when I heard that Stacy lost her battle. But Brian racing in her honor, and Brian is a big supporter of, and I can't say the exact word without getting in trouble, but there is a 5012 charity that's called F Cancer, and they donate to all of the good cancer research campaigns that are going on out there. So if you would like to make a donation in the name of Stacy Tarnowski, I'm sure that Brian would appreciate you if you did make a donation to F Cancer, but you're going to have to spell out that 4-letter word that I'm not allowed to say.
Fame?
No. Foxtrot Uniform Charlie Kilo.
Got it. See, I thought we were going with Fame.
No.
Well, things have absolutely strung out to what usually happens here on a road course, as Raymond Root in the number 8 still leading our race here with 6.4 seconds over top of Alex Murray. And Alex Murray trying, you can see, although that you kind of think, wow, it feels early in this race as we're only 31 laps total. We have 22 laps to go, and Alex Murray is desperately trying to drive the wheels off of this and, put a little bit of a closing on this gap between himself and RJ.
He is at that, as it is 6 3/4 seconds is the gap from RJ Root back to Alex Murray. But Murray has a 9-second deficit back to Austin Story. Story kind of fading right now as he currently sits in third. Is making things happen as he's got a 1.5 seconds to the good over Joe Stafford.
And Stafford back here running in fourth right now, chasing him down with 1 3/4 seconds. But next driver behind him, Seba Cornez in the number 14 Toyota Camry. Seba gets the show. He's a big fan of the Dan Le Batard show with Stu Gatz from down there in Miami, Florida. And we see him getting ready to come out toward the final turn through this next complex here. I mean, Seba usually has a pretty good night here at the road courses. So seeing him up here in 5th right now gives you a good feeling as he swings it out to come back down the front stretch.
Eaton just had a big moment there coming through the penultimate corner, it looked like. Hey.
Oh, my.
Actually, that was the final corner.
He comes down through Seba comes down through turn 1 and sets himself up for turn 2 and 3 as he is now chasing down Brian Tarnowski, as Tarnowski down a lap here, but very recently down a lap as, quite frankly, RJ's not here picking cars off like a sniper as he usually does. It's definitely more of a slow and steady climb around this piece.
RJ just seems to be trying to keep that car as clean as he possibly can. I don't think he's dipped a wheel yet. Did we lose Joseph again?
Yep. Well, that's all right. Looks like you and I get to carry the load here a little bit longer. Checking in right now on Chris Claude, who's down several laps. He is your Davis Brothers Roofing SNN Cup Series commissioner. You know, Chris has assembled quite a team of leaders here between himself here at Cup level, Bob Nestor on MNN Xfinity on Monday nights, and then, of course, John Bawalda, who currently just coming back out of the pits, is your Tuesday night Thunder Truck Series commissioner. You know, Chris prides himself. Whoa! Speaking of pride, he gets it all kinds of wrong as he is about to be put down another lap by RJ Root. But Chris prides himself in keeping this group organized. And, here's the thing. Chris wants to make sure that everybody's having a good time. This league has morphed a lot. As right now, you'll hear it on the race radio if you're tuned into it. IPL, or incident per lap. So basically, some leagues have penalty systems that require sometimes several hours of race review after the race. And, Tony, from doing race review as long as you have, that sometimes you can be there until 12, 1, and 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes. This has completely changed the game in SNN Cup Series, where there is no more race review. Incidents per lap. If you are over 1 incident per lap at this stage in the, actually it's 0.1, 1/10 of an incident per lap. So basically 1 incident per 100 laps and you're safe. But regardless, there's a little bit of a math metric to it, and it keeps all of the guesswork out of, well, gee, is it my fault? Who gets a penalty point? Who gets suspended? After a certain number of races, and I believe it's 6 here at Cup level, you can be suspended if you're over that incidents per lap threshold.
Oh yeah, that really has changed the game. I mean, we've gone from having race chat to 4 in the morning, I think was the longest it ever went, to just having fun rewatching the race and race chat, not even having to go through things, and it's really changed the game.
Something just happened to Alex Murray.
Taking a look back here at Alex Murray coming downhill here.
Okay,
Wow.
he just blinked. Went off track and blinked. Jeremy Miller has decided to put it on the hauler.
Probably not a bad idea. RP Allen just passed Nolan Hodgson for P6. We're going to see RP set himself up coming downhill, gets to the inside, and all but has to look at those wheels glow as those brake rotors are hotter than hot as he makes the pass on the inside of the 54.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm kind of surprised he sent it that far deep, especially considering those two are teammates. Definitely not racing like they were. No one saw it coming and kind of hopped out of the way.
It's one of those deals where they're teammates, but the only team rule they actually have is try not to kill each other.
Joe Stafford's down pit road.
Team rule number 2 is if you are going to kill each other, make damn sure it's a Sports Center highlight.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And as Joseph just said, Joe Stafford, the pride of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, coming down to get for Mr. Feelgoods and a tank of Go Fast here on lap number 19 of 30. With 19 laps to go in this 31-lap race. And he gets himself off of pit road, just a 14.5-second stop, and he is back out and ready to rock.
Yeah,
Question is,
definitely a fast pit stop there. Remember, these pit crews, virtual pit crews that is, have to go around the opposite direction, which slows it down about a second or so.
Well, most pit crews, when they go to a road course, especially like this, and to Watkins Glen for that matter, you're still pitting the same way that you normally would. They just put the front tire changers on the back of the car. That's the easiest way to make sure that you don't goof the pit stop. So you guys are you're still making the same turn around the car that you normally do. It's just you're at the opposite end of the car that you're normally pitting. The biggest thing is for the fueler. That's the biggest deal, is getting those 2 tanks of or 2 cans of Sunoco race fuel in the tanks. Being as you can see the pit filler neck is on the opposite side of the car, so that's the only real big difference. But generally, the tire changers, they still are pitting. The front tire changers are still turning right to go around the car, and the rear tire changer is now the front tire changers. They're going left to go around the car.
Alex Murray and Austin Story both down pit road here with 18 laps to go now. So these drivers coming in, getting those 4 fresh tires, as you had mentioned, they're laying 3 tonight. So definitely.
No, they're laying 2.
Oh, I thought they were laying 3. My
nope,
apologies.
they have 3 total sets.
Oh, my apologies. I thought we were laying 3.
But that's going to move Seba Cornez up into second place. RP Allen, Nolan Hodgson up into third and fourth. Allen up 14 as they currently sit, and you got to wonder, when is Raymond Root going to come in to cut off that undercut that Murray and Story are going to get?
So many times we're always wondering who is going to be the first to blink, and I see Glenn Ballard having all kinds of a problem here. Let's run this bad boy back and see exactly what happened as we see Ballard coming downhill here. And he just locks him up, overshoots the corner, and into the sandbox.
Doesn't look like he hit anything too hard. Is Chris Claude having a time of it? He went off track again? Everybody taking evasive action to get around him.
Yeah, we're going to pull this up here as we see Claude just about in a similar position. Oof. And Ken Ron just barely able to get around his nose as Claude gets himself back underway.
Raymond Root brings it pit side.
And that will do it for the possibility of a one-stop strategy. You can only make it on 2 stops now.
Well, no, I mean, Root got 15 out of that first lap, and you figure there was a lap of pacing there. And Tarnowski, big issues. What happened to the 5?
It looks like he did the same thing as...
Wow, the same thing as Chris Claude.
Chris. Yeah.
Does a little surfing on the beach. Keeps it rolling, though, so good on you, sir. Seba Cornez, RP Allen, and Nolan Hodgson and Chad Sander all coming pit side. That's going to promote Murray back up into second as Root getting the final set of tires put on that car.
And look at the time gap between Root and Murray. All but 12 seconds now.
That is huge.
I mean, at this point, Raymond Root can stop and get himself some of that fried cheese curd over at the concession stand, strap himself back in, maybe a little little sip of some Coca-Cola, and back out on the track before Murray even gets around.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he's had 2 weeks to prepare for this race, as he had some things come up, and he's back this week. He missed, I believe it was Sonoma and Nashville, so unfortunate for him there. But he's back and showing us what we've missed those past 2 weeks.
And in case you did miss it last week, we had an amazing race at the Nashville Superspeedway. Thank you all so much for making that the most popular video here on the Esports Broadcasting Network and Sim Racing Media. We were all flabbergasted when we saw the number of hits that video received. And if you haven't seen it, you owe it to yourself to go watch it, because that was some intense racing from the drop of the green till the checkers flew.
Absolutely. I mean, I was impressed when I came off track after that race and heard what was going on, and I couldn't believe what I had seen. It was impressive. And I mean, I think a lot of that had to do with, I think, Joseph, you had pointed it out to many of us that perhaps some of what had brought that about was, the real NASCAR race being red flagged at one point.
Yeah, I mean, it got red flagged, and you guys looked up the race, and we popped up, so I guess that's good for the algorithm that we're getting big enough that we'll come up.
Chuck Eaton goes around, coming down the hill just before the Corvette Bridge. Gets it all wrong, finally gets pointed. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Because you're coming down the hill, and if you've got too much brake dialed into the rear, it's very easy to wheel hop it and go around.
I wonder if some of this has to do, if it's a Nolan Hodgson now off track, as well as Seba Carlos. I'm starting to wonder if a lot of this is cold tires mixed with, oh darn, I forgot to reset my my brake bias as those tires have been wearing out earlier.
That seems to be the case, as right now Raymond Root's gap is almost 14 seconds back to Alex Murray. And the rest of this field very strung out, as the next closest battle on track is between Joe Stafford and Austin Story, but that's a 3-second gap.
And RJ Root can't start sleeping now, as Austin Story before the pit stops was around 22 to 23 seconds behind RJ Root. It's now down to 17 seconds, and Austin Story's running some really fast lap times.
He is at that, as both he and Stafford the last time by went 2:11.42s, both of them.
Slow car in front of RJ Root almost collides with him.
Boy.
Canada corner.
We'll take a run back and see exactly what was going on here as we get this bad boy queued up.
Wrong.
And there we have RJ Wolf getting right around John Bawalda in the Jack Dow Motorsports Chevrolet.
That could have ended so poorly.
It really almost did.
That time by RJ Root ran a 2:11.4. Alex Murray ran a 2:10.8. And Austin Story ran a 2:11.2. So second and third closing in on RJ Root pretty quickly.
They are, and I think that last move kind of scared Root, but he was having to pick his way through Glenn Ballard there, coming through the early section, or the first segment, or the first sector of the track. But, I mean, let's not try to sugarcoat it. Raymond Root has lapped all the way up to 11th. Josh Ward in 11th is the last car being scored on the lead lap.
And you might think that's normal at these road courses, because at Sonoma, Brett Gardner lapped up to 6th. Well, the laps here are a minute longer. That's a lot longer and a lot more time to gain.
Matter of fact, this is the longest track we are going to visit all season. 4 miles, 14 turns here at Road America in lovely and picturesque Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. I remember racing go-karts as a kid. One of the races I always looked forward to was Elkhart Lake. In 125cc shifter carts, this track is so much fun.
Oh, I bet.
Raymond,
With 15 laps to go, we are going to step aside and pay some bills. And 15 to go here as Raymond Root leading the race in Davis Brothers Roofing SNN Cup Series action here on ESBN and Sim Racing Media.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen 1 Lawn Care. Preen 1 does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen 1 delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen 1.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
Davis Brothers has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes to installing new roofs on large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Your home is an important part of your life, and your roof is an essential part of your home. We understand that. Whether you're inspecting, repairing, or replacing your roof, we'll treat your home like it's our very own. Low slope, steep slope, big or small, it doesn't matter, we do them all. And remember, we have the capabilities and the manpower to take on any size job. When it comes to your roof, it's important to be proactive. Choose an experienced roofer you can trust. At Davis Brothers Roofing, we are your experienced roofer. Contact us today for a consultation and let us earn your trust.
Drivers that took time all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
Absolutely. Folks, if you are just tuning in on Facebook.com over here on Sim Racing Media or YouTube.com or the ESBN Esports Broadcasting Network, make sure that you subscribe, turn on those bell notifications so that you can get notified every time we are live on ESBN or Sim Racing Media. And also make sure that you're active in the live chat as our good friend Spur Loco here in the live chat, as well as Mr. Leo Bonacasa, kind of the godfather of SNN here. Let's go Austin, Nolan, RP, and Joe Stafford. Caitlin Atkinson cheering for Alex Murray all the way in Canada. And she's up here. I guess she just had the best poutine in Canada, Ontario. And she was born and raised and had some on Canada Day, July 1st. So definitely a girl after your own heart there, Tony, with the poutine. I'm literally... Well, who doesn't, to be fair, who doesn't like a fat guy in a wheelchair? All right. You know, and that's an impressive number to get to, especially on the iRacing.com servers, Tony. Well, that's why I was wondering that. I mean, where I live, you've got a 50-50 shot. And, of course, no, I didn't. You're good. Whoops. There we go. Hi, welcome back. Why don't you do that 5-year anniversary bit again?
Well, today is a very special day for the Esports Broadcasting Network, as at 8 o'clock this evening, when this race went live on the air, this marked the 5-year anniversary of the very first broadcast we ever did. Back then, we were known as BOFA Broadcasting because it was two nuts in a booth. And, we did the name change a handful of years ago, back in 2019. And, we haven't looked back. It's been nothing but continued growth, especially since Sim Racing Media took over the helm here at the Esports Broadcasting Network. And I thank James Riles and Jonathan Leach and the rest of the admin crew over on Sim Racing Media for, continuing the growth that we experienced through the first couple of years here on ESBN. And we're looking forward to continuing that growth, as we are less than 30 subscribers away from the magical 2,500 mark. Thank you all so much for making that happen. And being as, this started 5 years ago, I had no clue that it would grow as much as it did. So thank you all so much for sticking with us for all 5 years.
And in the basically the cauldron of iRacing and, everything that goes on, of course, in sim racing on the whole. I mean, it's impressive when a company can be around for 5 years and, of course, then have that security to be married with another company like Sim Racing Media, where we do see so many people come in and they kind of play around in this broadcasting world that we live in, and then they kind of flame out. But if anything, it seems like we do nothing but grow week after week after week. I mean, and it's a lot of it has to do with people like Bob Beltrami, who come back and bring the Western States Racing League, every single week, year after year, as he is on season 47 over there.
As well as Jason Papp and Greg McConey, two of the leads over in the iRacing East Series. We have the Extreme Stock Car Series coming back on Tuesday nights. Just so many great leagues have joined the ranks here on the Esports Broadcasting Network since the merger with Sim Racing Media. And I've got a chance to meet both you, Jason, Joseph, you and your father. I've had a chance to work with both of you now. Dave Regal, my brother from another mother, and of course Frank Marchese did take a little bit of a hiatus, as did I at one time, but Frank and I are both back and guns a-blazing on the broadcasts that we get to do together. I've worked with just about every member of the team so far, and I got to tell you, we have one of the strongest teams of broadcasters from top to bottom, week in and week out. As we have broadcasts going 7 nights a week now, especially with the Sim Racing Media Super Late Model AI series that debuted round number 7 last night from Langley. And if you've missed that race, you really owe it to yourself to go back and look, because we were race number 7 before something happened. And if you've seen the race, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen the race, I'm not going to spoil it for you. You owe it to yourself to go watch race number 7 premiered last night from Langley.
With 8 to go here, Alex Murray coming down on pit road early. As Joseph, you had said that they were all about 2 laps shy. So Alex Murray looking to see if he can come in first and get that edge on fuel.
Oh yeah, for sure. And what I heard from some of the guys is that they were gonna pit as late as possible and put as little fuel in as possible, and that's what it looks like Alex Murray did, except he pitted sooner. I mean, RJ, he was the closest to making it at like 1 lap of fuel to the good, or not to the good, out. So I mean, he could make it, but it's a very far stretch, and at the lap times he's running, I don't think there's a shot.
Absolutely zero chance of him making it from here on fuel. Same with Austin's Story, Joe Stafford. So, that gap now that Alex Murray has, he is less than the pit delta out from your leader, Raymond Root.
Oh yeah, for sure, and that's with taking tires. I don't think RJ's gonna end up taking tires just because of how short of a run this is gonna be. Honestly, I don't see anybody taking tires here from what I heard down in the pit boxes, but you never know. They could surprise us and try to make this interesting.
Well, it definitely would be something fun to see.
RJ Root getting ready to come down pit road has crossed that imaginary Maginot line and in for service.
So Root going to come in. Story, we're waiting to see what he's going to do, as that's how big that gap is. 28 seconds. Good grief.
Well, I mean, it tends to happen at road courses. I talked to Austin over the week, and
Story stays out.
This is his worst road course, he says. So for him to be running second right now and was running third before everybody started pitting, that's huge. And he just passed RJ Root, who took tires.
No, Root did not take tires. Root only had a 7-second stop. There's no tires there. Murray did not take tires. But something did just happen to Tom McGee, though, in the 47.
You want to take a bet where he got it wrong and overshot a corner? No?
I'm gonna say turn 5 right before Canada corner.
Oh, and that wheel is broken all the way off there as he hits the tow button and gets safely back to the pits.
It absolutely is, and that was Corvette corner that he got it wrong in. Coming up the hill after the downhill, goes into the uphill, gets it off center, cannot get it woed down, and just blasts the tire wall. And completely rips the right front suspension off of the POW MAA 47.
7 to go now, as Austin Story, still your race leader, hasn't been in since lap number 13. We know that he can't make it on fuel after Joseph's crack reporting from the pits earlier. That sets up RJ Root and Joe Stafford, currently also hasn't been in since lap 12, so puts RJ Root and Alex Murray, going to cycle them back to the top once Austin Story and Joe Stafford get themselves down pit road.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I don't know if you're watching Austin right now, but he is pushing it to the limits of every corner. He just dropped the wheel. It didn't even lose a mile per hour out of the kink, and he's using up all the track, and it's working for him right now.
And it is so sketchy when you do drop a wheel going through the kink that, it can go either way. And Story was able to keep it under him as he stays out for another lap. The question is, when is Story going to finally blink as Stafford brings it pit side from third?
I think since Money House Racing and Propel have an alliance, I would expect Austin to be in within the next 2 laps. Not much tire wear from him, so I mean, staying out as long as he can could work. I don't think there's really anything he can gain right now. He's probably going to cycle out about 5 seconds behind Alex Murray, so he's just trying to get that extra point for leading a lap, I'd assume.
Well, he safely has that under his belt right now, so we probably are going to see Story this next time by as he comes up into Corvette corner. Just tiptoeing through there is when the track starts to level off at the top of the hill, that car gets so light, and you've got to get it woed down before that, or else you will eat tire barrier if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, for sure. And as we go through the carousel, Austin Story's about to lap Chris Claude once again. Chris not having the day he wanted, but Austin's gonna catch him right out of the kink, and that's gonna slow him up just a little bit. That could have been chaos.
That could have been so much worse than it was.
That was definitely absolutely near calamity there. I want to quick run that back just to give these viewers here at home a little taste of what that looked like from, maybe a better perspective here as we're going to ride along over top of RJ Root as he is set up on the left side of Chris Claude, and we see him. Claude gets out of the way, and fortunately, RJ able to get back around him.
Mike the Money checking in the YouTube chat. Have to try something to catch Root.
At this point, I think the only way to catch RJ Root for Alex Murray is going to be maybe a little something extra in the tank.
Possibly a mixture of rocket fuel, maybe what the Top Fuel dragsters run that they refer to as nitromethane.
Basically pure alcohol.
Murray, though, just cranked off a 2:10.36 to set fast lap of the event.
I think the only thing that anybody could do to possibly beat RJ Root is get some flexible underpants like Red Bull and Ferrari had that might be a little bit against the rules.
I still wish that iRacing would let us paint the belly pan on this car, because I can think of so many funny things to put down there.
You got to look back here at Nolan Hodgson, who just got it all kinds of wrong here. Nolan Hodgson just completely overcooked the corner. It's like he didn't even stop and just slams into the outside wall, and there were no tires to soften the blow.
Well, that was coming through the kink that he got it all wrong and almost gets into Brian Tarnowski. And both left side suspension arms completely ripped off of the 54.
Unfortunate for him. I know he put a lot of practice in this week. As I'm around most of these guys that are in this league a lot throughout the week, and I'm able to bring some pretty neat insight. And but
Austin's Story has slowed down. Oh no, he's coming in. Okay. I was about to say Austin's Story had slowed his pace down. I was thinking he was going to try to save to get to the finish as Root flashes by to retake the lead.
It's interesting that you should note, being able to hang out with a lot of these guys, Joseph. For those of you out there watching on YouTube or Facebook, some of you may not know, but the SNN family of racing series covers 3 nights of racing. It's Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks, and a lot of these guys are driving and practicing together more than just those 3 nights. There's several people that'll throw up a practice session, in order to maybe fine-tune some of the setups. Josh Ward, always out here. He's a setup tweaker. He'll get out there and he'll maybe make one click or one little change, and all of a sudden that car is just dialed all the way in. But there's a lot of practice that goes on with that. So Joseph, and I know that you and I last season had practiced together at Richmond, and I mean, these drivers a lot will start to work together to help each other get better, so that what you're watching on TV tonight, is a better product.
Oh yeah. And real quick, Austin's Story is out of fuel. His pit crew did not fuel his car.
What?
His pit crew did not fuel his car. He is going at a solid
45
miles per hour.
That car is sounding dead as he's going up the hill under the Corvette bridge.
He is at just 28, almost 3,000 RPMs. He is limping around. It's almost like a diesel that went into limp mode.
Yeah, man, that is
wow. That's
unfortunate for him. that pretty much sums up his luck throughout the season, though, as he's had nothing go right for him.
Well, we've heard about this glitch a couple of times with this next-gen car, is that there are times where it won't fuel the car right.
Well, I would go back as far as to say, in the Gen 6 car, 2 seasons ago, I was leading with 2 laps to go. I had like a 2-lap lead at Rockingham. I came down pit road. It did not give me fuel, and it ruined my race and chance at a win.
He's shaking it back and forth. He's not going to make it without any help. He is completely dead in the water right now, coming under the Henry Bridge as he comes into the kink, and that car is
He's switching between first and second. There it goes. He's out. He is out. Brings it to a stop.
Oh. That is heartbreak for the 23.
Yeah, and we have so many nifty little things that we can do on iRacing, as far as, for instance, I use RaceLab apps for my in-car overlays and things, and you can have the fuel calculator automatically fuel your car. But I found that even gave me a little bit of a problem, as I came in, we went green, white, checkered, and next thing you know, it didn't give me enough fuel.
Because it's only going to, the race labs are only going to give you enough fuel to get through the advertised laps of the race. It doesn't take overtime into consideration. But right now, Raymond Root, 18 1/4 seconds to the good over the 40 of Alex Murray. Joe Stafford, who started third, currently runs in third, has a 20-second gap back to Seba Cornez. Karnowski trying to get up and out of the way of your race leader, as we are going to be popsicle sticks in the air this time by, as Raymond Root continues to dominate here at Road America.
Oh, yeah.
3 to go. As sorry, go ahead, Joseph.
Clinical all night long. Only laps he didn't lead is when Austin Story stayed out for those couple of laps, and even then he was only 3 seconds behind him when he went down pit road.
Something just happened with Alex Murray, is he's appearing red in the tattletale. Looks like coming into Canada corner, just overcooks it. Back end comes around. Around she goes, almost a full 360, keeps his foot in it, gets into the sand trap, and now gets it pointed back in the right direction. Luckily, able to maintain position over Joe Stafford, but now has to claw his way back through the lap cars in front of him.
Yeah, that'll just about solidify P2 for Alex, as he was starting to get closer and closer to Raymond Root, but now there's 30 seconds between himself and RJ there in P1, and 18 seconds between himself and the pride of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Joe Stafford. And speaking of Philadelphia, do want to wish everybody a happy Independence Day tomorrow, July 4th, 1776, right in Philadelphia. Joe Stafford's in my backyard here. The American independence movement had begun, so glad
for
to...
those of our friends over in the UK, happy Treason Day.
Absolutely. Jason Sawford, I'm sorry, but we can't be friends tomorrow.
And to all of our friends from the Great White North, happy belated Canada Day, as July 1st was the day that Canada saw independence back in 1983. Unfortunately, no Canadians in the field tonight.
No, there are Canadians in the field on Tuesday night, though. Mr. Sylvain Jelly.
There you go. And in case you missed the announcement earlier, when this race went live, we celebrated our 5th consecutive year of broadcasting here on the Esports Broadcasting Network. And again, a big thank you goes out to the entirety of the broadcast crews, as we have some amazing broadcasters and some great up-and-coming broadcasters at that. Joseph, you're being added to that list, being as you're 16, 17?
14.
You're 14. Really?
We're that old.
Keepers. I feel like a grandfather right now.
Well, I mean...
But Joseph, again, you are definitely an up-and-coming broadcaster, great voice quality, and I think you have a future in this industry should you choose to pursue it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking into that as a possibility. But like Dave was about to lead into, RJ Root heading into this next left-hand corner, about to turn into the carousel after that. Clinical performance. He's led all but like 4 laps, and man, what a run by him tonight.
Absolutely. And as he comes through the carousel for the final time, go ahead, Dave.
I was going to say, and as RJ comes through the carousel that final time, he has nothing but space behind him with 31.02 seconds back to Alex Murray. So everything all buttoned up except for the checkered flag, which is getting ready to be waved in the air as he comes down into Canada corner, gets himself settled in here as we're heading toward turn 13 now. And this is an interesting complex as he is going to whip through, working his way back to the final turn one more time as he's going to go under that REV Vehicles for Life banner. REV Vehicles, of course, the providers of great emergency service vehicles here in the United States. Glad to have them as a sponsor here. And right now, the flagman changes that white flag to a checkered flag and gets ready to wave it here for RJ Root in the Davis Brothers Roofing SNN Cup Series race at Road America here in beautiful Sheboygan County, Wisconsin. Brings home the checkered flag for the number 8 Chevrolet Camaro.
Dominating performance by him, but as we go back to 7th, Chad Sanner losing some time to the guy who ran out of fuel, Austin Story, as Chad Sanner looking to go through the final corner. He has about a 1-second gap to Austin Story. Austin locks up the tires, and that'll do it for his chances at P7, but still a great rebound in P8.
As here comes the 57 of Joe Stafford out of the final corner. No pressure from behind as Stafford up the hill for the final time. Gonna bring it home in 3rd. Alex Murray has already crossed for 2nd. Seba Cornez now coming through the final corner. And up the hill he goes. That is 4th place. And you can see just how big the gaps had become as Cornez going to wrestle 4th place. Spivey coming through under the Henry Bridge right now, coming out of the carousel into the kink. And that's how big the gap was between Cornez and Spivey. As Spivey now through the kink for the final time into Canada corner. He hauls that Ford Mustang. Mission 22 on the side of that. And as we are celebrating Independence Day, we do need to mention that, every day we are losing 22 veterans to PTSD and self-harm. And we do ask that on this Independence Day, if you could reach out to mission22.com and, let these veterans know that you're thinking about them and you want to try to help. Mission22.com is where you can go because we lose 22 veterans to self-harm every day, and that can be prevented. So if you know somebody in crisis, reach out to them.
Without a doubt, that is absolutely the most important words that you could have spoken tonight. And but right now, we do need to take a look here at Raymond Root. And Carter Ekman in our YouTube.com live chat picked up on our common theme today as Tyler Reddick and now RJ Root, 2 wins for the 8 car today at Road America. So glad to see the 8 car here celebrating. And in just a few moments, we should be having these drivers pop into the broadcast booth. As it looks like Joe Stafford is here waiting, but trying to get a hold of RJ Root.
I got him.
Hey, Joseph.
As Joseph, I believe you've got a race winner with you now.
Hey, RJ, this is the broadcast booth. You got a copy on me, brother?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, man, you came off a 2-week hiatus and put on a clinic leading all but like the 3 laps Austin Story led when he stayed out and then ended up not getting the fuel in his car. But you did a great job. What does this mean for your season and how you hope to go on this upcoming summer tear?
It feels really good. We had an amazing car. I didn't do any practice until like 3 o'clock today. Josh sent me his setup and asked me to try it, and I fell in love with it. And I knew when I was faster than Alex on the short run that I would be able to pull away from him on the long run, and just have a really good race. And I made one mistake all race, which is unlike me. I usually make 6 or 7 mistakes on the road courses. So I feel really confident through the rest of the season. Man, it feels so good to win again.
Oh yeah, for sure, and I'm sure this will give you a confidence boost going into Atlanta. What are your thoughts on the new update to the track, and how do you think that'll suit your driving style?
I honestly have not touched the new update. So if it drives like I'm told it drives, then I feel pretty good. I am pretty confident at the restrictor plates, but I definitely am gonna miss the old Atlanta.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think we all will miss that old track, but it's glad some have something new. Anyways, anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
I'd really like to thank Alex and Josh, just constantly pushing me to get better. Shamrock Auto Repair. Trying to remember who else is on the car. 138 Tattoo. Race and Rehab. Everybody that supports Prodigy. And just everybody that helps me get better.
Well, man, good to hear that you got some help with the car, and we'll talk to you hopefully next week.
Thank you.
That was your race winner, RJ Root, and Dave, I think you got a copy on our second place finisher, Alex Murray.
Absolutely. Alex Murray, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, listen, that number 40 Shamrock Chevrolet Camaro tonight, you had dialed in. And, I'm not saying that you couldn't keep up with RJ Root, but, man, Concord, North Carolina is proud of you tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, RJ was on God mode tonight. He was on a different setup than I was. I was on one that I built. I believe he was on a Team Watson race setup. So either way, I mean, good result for both of us. Good result for FFR and Shamrock Auto Care on both of our cars. I mean, good result overall. Prodigy Esports back in victory lane again. So do it again next week, I guess.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, it's always nice when you can look at it and say there's always next week. You can always try to get up there and, add to that win total. I mean, to be completely honest, I mean, look, you've got 6 wins so far this season. RJ's got 4 now with this win here at Road America. So, I mean, maybe you're just kind of spreading the love out a little bit and letting some other people see what victory lane looks like from the inside instead of the outside looking in like the rest of us.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. RJ was fast tonight, and I could keep up with him for a couple laps, and then I would make a mistake, and he was just mistake-free tonight, and that's what won him the race for sure. So,
yeah,
good
man.
result though, and it was fun to try to catch him. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. Listen, I absolutely agree. And before we cut you loose here, is there anybody that you want to tip your cap to and thank for this run this evening?
Shamrock Auto Care, Prodigy Esports, Racing Rehab, Buttkicker, Magic, everybody that supports Prodigy Esports. We're a new team, and we're looking to expand into some road racing, some dirt racing. But for now, we're focused on the NASCAR side of stuff, and we're doing pretty good at it. So we're gonna keep our heads down and keep doing what we do, and hopefully find ourselves in victory lane again next week.
All right, man. Well, listen, have a good rest of your week. Enjoy the holiday tomorrow, and enjoy turning around and telling England we're good. We're independent now. So happy
right.
Independence Day to you, buddy.
Yeah, man. You too.
All right, and Tony Trapasso, I believe that you do have, speaking of Independence Day, the pride of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Mr. Joe Stafford.
Proud member of the Pennsylvania Posse, Joe Stafford. Congratulations on the podium here at Road America. All things considered, can't be too disappointed after tonight.
Oh, no, not at all. I definitely didn't have pace for a third place or a top three. Austin Story definitely had this place under wraps, but something happened there with his iRacing fuel, and it's not the only time it's happened, so I really feel bad for him. He put a lot of practice into this week, and this was his place. So shout out to Austin. He's been really fast this year and just disappointing.
Absolutely, but we go to another fast track next week as they finally gave the repave of Atlanta to the iRacing community. You guys are going to be your first time seeing that track next week. What are your thoughts going into that race?
Oh yeah, I'm actually really excited. I know there's some mixed reviews on the track. I did a bit of testing there already, and each test race I've been in has been a blast. It's definitely a short, narrow track, but it is a lot of fun, especially if you get the right set of guys doing it. So hopefully next week it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, Joe, we're going to let you go celebrate the podium here tonight at Road America. And before we do, who do you need to thank?
Yeah, I would like to thank everyone at Propel Racing, Chester Water Authority. Thanks to them for being on the car. Money House Racing and Graphics for being on the car. Team Watson Racing, they built a killer setup this week. And yeah, thanks to everyone that runs this league. You guys up in the booth. Hopefully I'll be in the booth next week.
All right. Joe Stafford, congratulations on the podium. We will see you next week at Atlanta, sir.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Well, gentlemen, we've got another race in the books.
And what a race it was from start to finish. I mean, there was honestly, sometimes you get involved with a road course and you start to get worried, oh man, is this going to be a snooze fest? But these drivers here in the Davis Brothers Roofing SNN Cup Series kept this thing really exciting all night long, guys.
Yeah, very much so. We had different battles going on, especially in the early going. We had a lot of hard battles going on, but once you wore all the goodie off the tires, the cream rose to the top.
Without a doubt. But before we head out of here, we do want to take a look at the rest of the field from tonight, as there may have been just 3 that we spoke to, but there were also those other 17 drivers that were out here running their tails off. So just a quick rundown of our final results here. Raymond Root finishes in first place in victory lane, followed by Alex Murray and Joe Stafford on the podium. Seba Cornez and Randy Spivey in 4th and 5th. 6th place, R.P. Allen in the 03 machine, followed by Chad Sanner, Austin Story, Josh Ward in the number 1 Chevrolet Camaro, and Glenn Ballard rounding out your top 10, Joseph.
11th, you'll have Zendla Collins. 12th, Brian Tarnowski. 13th, Nolan Hodgson. He had a little bit of bad luck, but was running top 10 all night long. John Buwalda will be in 14th. Tom McGee, 15th. Charles Eaton finishes 16th. 17th, Chris Claude. 18th will be Ken Ron. 19th, Wyatt Fink. And 20th, Jeremy Miller.
That is going to about do it for us tonight from Road America. Happy Independence Weekend to all of our friends in the U.S. Happy belated Canada Day to all our friends in the Great White North. Be sure to tune in on Monday night, Independence Day evening, as we bring the series premiere of the CleanRacing.net Truck Series Season 12, getting ready to fire off tomorrow from Chicagoland. And for Mr. Joseph Lester, for Mr. Dave Regal, this is Tony Trapasso, reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life this week, don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.